I wanted to start just by confirming, do you support democracy or authoritarianism?
I think that's pretty obvious. Support freedom and democracy.
Democracy. Great. Would you agree that accepting the results of a fair and free election are critical to a functioning democracy?
Would you agree that standing
That's
up
not
and
my
cheering
question.
for
Is,
a cancer survivor would have been the nice thing to do?
Ms. Lake, this is my time.
Okay.
Would you accept that accepting the results of a free and fair election are critical to a functioning democracy? It's a yes or no question. Do you think it's essential
I
for
think we
democracy
need
to have a free and fair election?
We need free and fair elections.
Free and fair
sadly,
elections,
we don't
great.
have
Thank
them.
you so much. And yet, you have, to this day, refused to acknowledge that President Trump lost the 2020 election, something that even members of President Trump's own Justice Department have admitted and multiple lawsuits have shown. And we heard my colleague from Arizona talk about what happened in Arizona. So it concerns me that you are now tasked with this responsibility of ensuring democracy around the world when you won't even accept a free and fair election. I'm also concerned by your ability to promote the American ideals of freedom and democracy, given your record defending and praising dictators. Let's look at Hungary. You previously stated that Hungary is, quote, doing it right, and that Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban was, quote, the greatest in America, greatest in caps, and, quote, and equal to President Trump. Do you stand by those statements?
I think that Viktor Orban has done a very good job at protecting his people and protecting the Hungarian culture.
And so,
I think
Ms. Lake,
if you ask people in Europe, other
the
parts of
question
Europe,
here is very
they
simple.
would be wishing that their leaders stood up for their
Is Viktor
people.
Orban the greatest in Europe? Yes or no?
I think he's done the best job in Europe, yes.
Okay, and so even Secretary Rubio acknowledged in a 2019 letter that under Orban, Hungary took a downward democratic trajectory, and yet you insist that Hungary is doing it right. I want to cover some of the policies that Mr. Orban is responsible for. Would you consider banning LGBTQ pride parades like Viktor Orban has done in Hungary as doing it right, recognizing that pride parades are protected under the First Amendment?
What does this have to do with the U.S. Agency
I'm
for
asking
Global
you whether
Media?
you support the policies of dictators and authoritarians or whether you support democracy. You have said that Viktor Orban is the greatest in Europe. So do you think that Viktor Orban is doing it right when he bans pride parades?
I think Viktor Orban has put the people of his country first.
So the
and
answer
I'm
is
not
yes,
here
you
to
think it's
discuss
appropriate
Viktor
that he's
Orban.
banning pride parades and using facial recognition technology to actually profile people that go to those parades. How about the fact that Orban and his party control 80% of Hungary's media market?
Are we here
Is that
talking about
level-
Hungary?
Yes, we are, because guess what? Your agency actually is responsible for other countries
Hungary
and
is an
unbiased
ally. Can I
news.
remind you that Hungary is an ally of America?
Oh, and so you think that it's okay that Viktor Orban, the greatest in Europe, according to you, controls 80% of Hungary's media market? Is that level free and fair reporting?
I don't. You obviously don't like our ally Hungary. I think that
I'm asking
people have
you
voted
if
for him,
you
and the
think
people of
that it's
Hungary will decide.
appropriate. Ms. Lake, it is my time. I'm asking you if it is appropriate that a country, Viktor Orban's government, controls 80% of Hungary's media market. It's just a yes or no. Do you think that's okay? Think he's the greatest of all
I don't
time?
have an opinion on what Viktor Orban is doing in Hungary.
It's not up for
Other
debate.
than I
It's
know
a
he puts his
fact
people
that has been
first.
documented by numerous organizations.
who?
Now,
Can
not
you tell me
only
where that
have you
fact come
supported,
from?
not only
Where
have
did
you
that
supported,
fact come
excuse
from,
me, Ms. Lake,
Representative?
I'm sorry to remind you, you are not a governor. You're not even a candidate for governor. You're here, and this is my time. Not only have you supported dictators that have supported policies that erode democracy, you also spread claims promoted by Russian state media that the Pentagon was funding bioweapon labs in Ukraine. These claims have been proven resoundingly false, even by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Do you still stand by that prior
Look,
statement, Ms. Lake?
I know that many members of Congress care more about
Do
funding
you
Ukraine
stand
than
by that statement,
order?
which is clearly a
I
lie?
know that
You are
voted.
responsible for an agency that is supposed to promote truth, and yet, over and over again, you are promoting dictators and authoritarians and lies. So I am asking you if you stand by the statement that you made that was promoted by Russian state media that the Pentagon was funding bioweapon labs in Ukraine. proven false by Marco Rubio. Do you stand by that
I
statement?
understand you're trying to get a fundraising video here.
Okay,
So
well,
let me
you
help
clearly
make-
don't
let me-
understand that
reminding
you
the
are
people-
Ladies,
actually
time
here
has
before,
expired.
District.
before
Your time
Congress. Mr.
expired, Ms.
Chairman, I
Jayapal.
just want to say
you had
that
more than enough time. I gave you a few extra
I
seconds, and your
understand,
time
and
has expired.
unfortunately,
and I now recognize Representative
Ms. Lake
Davidson.
is not responding
Can
to
I
the
have
questions.
just 1 second to respond? Because who is going to be speaking
Representative
next?
Davidson is next.
Oh, may I have just 1 second to respond to that? Obviously, from some of the questions we're hearing from the Democrats, they care more about a lot of other countries than America. And we've seen that in their votes, with the money they voted just to spend in Ukraine killing people. Thankfully, we have a president in Donald J. Trump who's going to help bring peace.
Maybe we could have regular order, Mr. Chairman?
Seems pretty regular to me. Representative Davidson is recognized.
Fierce political showdown between two high-profile figures, Representative Pramila Jayapal, a leading progressive voice in the Democratic Party, and Kari Lake, a vocal, Trump-aligned Republican and former Arizona gubernatorial candidate. The expression "take the gloves off" is metaphorical, suggesting that Jayapal abandoned the usual polite or measured political tone and instead delivered a direct, possibly scathing critique or verbal takedown of Kari Lake. This could have happened during a televised debate, a congressional hearing, a press conference, or even on social media. In the context of U.S. politics, this kind of language signals a no-holds-barred confrontation, where Jayapal likely called out Kari Lake on her controversial statements, policy positions, or her role in perpetuating election denial narratives. Kari Lake is known for her strong support of Donald Trump and her repeated claims that the 2020 and 2022 elections were rigged, which has made her a polarizing figure. Jayapal, as chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, often speaks out against such claims, so their clash could have centered on democracy, misinformation, reproductive rights, immigration, or other hot-button issues. The use of "watch" in the title suggests that the moment is captured on video, highlighting it as a must-see moment of political drama or accountability likely designed to attract viewers who enjoy sharp, ideological confrontations. Overall, the title sets the stage for a dramatic and unapologetic moment where Jayapal confronts Lake with passion, facts, and pointed rhetoric, likely energizing her base and making headlines in progressive or mainstream media circles.